Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and we will introduce in this tutorial map function that is used to analyze items of an iterable object. So analyzing iterable objects is essential for daily life applications such as stock prices, delivery services, orders, or for example calendars or applications in groceries or on everywhere the iterable objects are utilized. These iterable objects include lists, tables. Sometimes we consider also the string or other data type or other container data type. Also, dictionary, we can loop over the key and value of the dictionary, so it's considered a iterable object. To map each element of an iterable object, we use map function. The map is a keyword in Python that is apply a function to each item of that iterable container or object. So we can consider map as a statement or a reserved keyword in Python to apply a function to each item of a list or of a tuple. There is a general expression that is usually used for the map function, which is like this. We use map, then we have a tuple, okay, and then we place the function which performs the mapping to each item and the iterable object, which is the list or item. So suppose we have example. For example, in a grocery, we have a list of tuples of items and its price, which is presented in US dollar, and we want to exchange this to euros. For example, I have the items here, okay, and these items are represented in a list, which is an iterable, and inside the list there is a tuple. For example, I have the first item here, I have a bread, okay, and I have the corresponding price of the bread 2.5. Then I have another, for example, cheese, okay, and I have to place this into quotations. And for example, this cheese is 3.5, and I will have also another item because I will use 3 items, and I will have milk, and for example, this milk is 1.5. And I have list of these these items, and these items represent to me the name of the item and the price. Suppose these prices are introduced in US dollar, and I want to exchange these prices to euro. Then I have to design a function. We learned together in the previous 2 tutorials that we are able to design an enormous function using lambda. So I will design a function that will use to exchange euro. Okay. So I will use exchange euro here, and for this function I will use lambda, and we learned that its expression we need input for this lambda, and the input here will be nothing but the iterable, and the iterable there are 2 items x0 and x1, so I have to open the tuple to match this format, and I have x0 here to match the name of the bread, and I will also have the x1 here, and x1 here will match the location of the price, and I want to use the exchange rate, just as random exchange rate. Then if we go back to this exhibition, we use map as a statement, and then I have to pass the function, which here exchange euro, and will pass the item, which is the iterable. So I will say lower price, for example in euro, which will be map as a reserved keyword or a statement in Python, and I will pass the function which is exchange euro, and I will pass the items here as an iterable object. If I will print this price euro, this will be iterable object, okay, and it will bring to me the memory address, okay, of this iterable object. What can I do now? I will unpack this object from this memory location to a list, or I have to use the for loop to unpack this object to a list. I use list at the beginning, then I use the name of this, which is price euro, okay, and when I execute this, then I will see here that the price has the prices have been mapped here. For example, from 2.5 it now become 2.3 because we reduced the price to match the euro scale. Now I will also use another way to unpack this. Okay, just I want to highlight an important note to you. If you unpack this iterable object now, okay, using list, then this object will no longer contain these items, meaning that it will be an empty. For example, if I will use for example, item underscore in price in euro, okay, which is iterable object, so I can look into it. I want to print the item, then these items which is located here, which represented here, will not be printed. As you see here, we only have the result from the first print, not the second one. Why? Because once I loop through this iterable object, okay, it will become an empty, and it's seen here that this object now become empty, so nothing will be printed here. So either to unpack by using this method or to loop through the object. So you are not allowed to use two subsequent print to the same iterable object. So I have to remove this because this represents the thing in the output terminal, which is here. If I remove this, then I will be able to iterate using for loop of the object. Okay, so as we can see here, we have the same result of the previous unpacking list. And now you can see the exchange of a price, how is it changed. Suppose that I want to return this price to the original price. So instead of 2.3, I have to go back. Then I will introduce a price US, okay, to represent the US dollar. And in the same way, I will use map, okay, sorry, I will use lambda, and the same thing. We have X, we will follow really this one, okay, because it is the same, it's identical. But here I multiplied with the red in the to return this price back to the original price, I have to divide, not to multiply, and I can iterate through the new object here, which is the US prices here, and yeah, price US. When I will loop, then I will have an object because the function has not iterable, because I still not apply the function here. So I will use a price. So this should be exchange. So I don't like copy and paste. Okay, so I will use here a price US will equal map, and for this map I will use exchange US, and I will use a price euro. Now remember, here we use the original items, okay, to exchange from US dollars to euro, but to return the process back or to invert the process, then we will start from here, from this iterable object, which will be use our a new iterable here, and the function will be the function that will use the division, not the multiplication. Now I will be able to return the price back. So the price has been transferred back here. I have 2.3. I have, sorry, I will use the exchange price euro, and now I will print the item here, and the item is still not shifted back because I use exchange US and I use it here, and I will use the euro, but now I have to remove the for loop again. So if you go back here, for loop, what it does, it make the price euro, which is this iterable, okay, is empty after, because it's offered to me on demand object. So once I do the for loop of the object, then this object will be removed. Once I iterate to this object will be removed from the memory, and that will be introduced when we will highlight together the generator in Python. How can we use the generator? And now just take care when you use map function and you want to use another operation into this map object, don't do for loop, because the for loop or don't unpack this object, otherwise it will be removed from the memory. More details I will give it to you when we will cover the generator in Python. So now I am able to return the prices to the original price, okay, because I mapped here to euro. Later I did revert to the process, okay, I converted the process back, okay. But just I want to mention one thing, that when we use map function here to exchange between the price from US dollar to euro or whatever the application you have, keep in mind that in another way we can use a list comprehension. We introduce list comprehension and list data structure, so you can get more information about that. Just I want to apply the list comprehension, which is really more fancy to me than the map function. But the map function, as I say, that it's over an iterable object in demand, so it will remove that object once you will use it, and it will free the memory. So it's like computationally good choice. So if I want to apply this using the item, for example, or list, and using list comprehensions, what I have to do, I will open list and I will follow. I will still follow the same format here. I will have a tuple, okay, and this format exactly what we will follow here, okay. So we have the list comprehension here, and we have x0 and we have x1 multiply, but I have to add for loop for x in the original items of the list, okay. Now I can print list, okay, exchange on, it will become here, okay. Now it will be the same result, okay, in terms of using map. If we compare the map and the list comprehensions, we will have the same result. But remember that we use the map to offer me on-demand object, and now we will use the list comprehension. Let us just go. We use map and we want to unpack this again, price to euro, and we have identical result. But once I do, if I want to print it again, for example, if I want to print the exchange result again, I will see it's still in the memory. It doesn't remove. But if I want to use map and I want to print it again, then it will become empty, because this is the way that the generator in Python has been designed, okay. More details again, it will be given later, okay. So the map is like considered computationally good, because it removes the object once I use it. But here the list comprehension, it returns the object located in the memory, so it consumes some of the memory. Just let it close this tutorial by another example, just to understand more about the map. Suppose I have ready or a list of ready, which represent a list of radiuses already, and we have for each radius here, we want to estimate the area of a circle, okay. So radi is a list that represent items. Each item represent, for example, a random radius of the of a circle, and I want to import math, because I want to use pi from math. Pi, by the way, is equal to 3.14, but I want to use it directly from the library. So I have the areas here will become nothing but map, okay. I can use map. I can use the function of the map function from outside, or I can define it inside the map. So I want to define here lambda inside the map, and I want to give it the radius. And here is the input, here is the output. What is the output? I want to use in the output mass.pi, okay, and which is 3.14 multiplies by r, and r here will be squared, okay, so I use double asterisk, so squared r, and what I will use later, I will use the list of Friday here, so which follow the same instruction here. I have the function which is this one, so I either can take it as it, or I can like define it and on the outside. So for example, I have func, and I can take x and I can place it outside, then I can recall the func. Okay, so you are free to choose whatever you want. I have no errors, so I want to print it for area in areas. For example, print area, and remember and keep in mind that we have this here, and I can just add for the beginner some fancy result. So I can use round to the first 3 digits here, and keep in mind again that these results can be reproduced using list comprehension as what we introduced in the previous example. That's for map. In the next tutorial, we will introduce filter function in Python.